say it. WSAZ Sports Plus. Still getting used to it. Still trying to, I don't know, Chelsea. I'm trying. I almost said WSAZ now.
It's okay.
At least I'm not calling it the OTT anymore, so.
Yeah, we moved on from that.
Yes, we did. So, but anyway, hey, welcome. We have a really special edition. If you got the push notification, you're like, oh, there he goes again. He's talking about his Steelers, and that's just what happens. I mean, you come up there, you grow up in a burg, and this is why I explain to people, they give you a black and gold injection at Mercy Hospital when you're up there, and then you're a Yinzer for life, and there ain't no way around it. You're stuck doing it. So you cheer for the Steelers, the Penguins, and the Pirates, and no matter how bad the Buccos are, you're still going to cheer for them. That's just the way it is. So we dedicated this entire podcast. We're going to do it in Yinzer speak, and we have a couple guests that are going to join us right now. There's one of them right there. There's the other one right there. We got Kyle and Doug. Notice how I said Kyle?
Kyle
and Doug. Yeah, that's the way that you guys know. You work for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
you know that's how people
watch the Steelers game.
Go downtown. Yeah. So,
downtown.
what do you guys think? Like, what did you think of that when you first moved to Pittsburgh and heard the accent?
I don't know if it was much of a culture shock because we're from here, right? We're from Huntington,
and you have accents,
southern accent, yeah,
right? Because it's kind of an Appalachian like.
It's a fusion. We can use
fusion kind of like
up north.
All these people that are So, hey guys, thanks for joining us here. Absolutely. We really appreciate it. I heard you were in town. Now I got to tell you, we know your stories ahead of time. So, but for people who don't know what you do for the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's go ahead and introduce yourselves. Kyle, young man, let's begin with you.
That's right. So I'm Kyle. Grew up. Huntington, West Virginia. Went to Wayne High School, graduated from here. But I got into equipment. So one of my jobs is basically think of a player, helmet, shoulder pads, cleats, and everything you can fit outfit for a player like Doug. We make sure he's dressed on a game day.
Yeah.
Help with practice a little bit.
And you do a lot though. Like you don't just do that. Like there are a lot of things that go into your job because people see you during the games. They see you on the sidelines.
Well, it's the shorts.
I'm always like, I know him. I know him.
I wear shorts year round, so that's part of my persona. But no, I mean, there's just a lot. It all kind of meshes together too. You really don't think about it in a game. And I always tell people this too. Like the most calm I am is when the 15-minute clock on the first quarter starts. During the game, I'm really calm. Everything's fine.
Okay, wait a step. I got to stop you. Chelsea, do you see Kyle Super? Look, do you see it says AMS certified? It says AMS certified.
Can I put that on my email?
I opened up a generic. Yeah, I mean you're officially AMS certified. It says it right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there.
Okay, let's move over to Doug. Doug, it says let's see what happens here. You're AMS certified too.
Perfect.
Wow.
It comes with a pay bump.
That's spectacular. Yeah, that's great. So tell us about your role with the Steelers and what you'll be doing, what you've started to do now, and what the future holds.
I grew up. I was going to just go off Kyle. I grew up in Canova, West Virginia.
Yes,
I went to Spring Valley High School. Graduated there. Went to Virginia Tech first. I went to WVU. Played football there, and then. Now I'm with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm an offensive lineman there. Just signed a futures contract, so I'm coming back for the preseason and everything next year. So we'll see where it goes from there.
And you knew this guy beforehand, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like or did you know of Kyle or did you know Kyle?
I knew of Kyle. Our friend groups have meshed.
Okay, yeah, so, it's a Wayne County thing.
Yeah.
Wayne County, that's the best.
So our friends group have meshed
that's exactly
throughout the years, and I grew up knowing of Kyle. So getting up there, I knew he was up there. So it was awesome just to have a friendly face.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah.
It makes the transition so much easier because it's a stressful world. It really is, and it's just a business.
I would think that's probably something that describe. For the layman here amongst us, describe the difference between high school, playing in college, and then going pro. They're three very different worlds. Can you describe the difference with high school to college. Let's start there.
Okay. High school to college is
Describe your experience.
so just going from high school to I started my first year at Virginia Tech, and just being in that first game was, everybody's the same size. Everybody's super talented. They all have offers. They all got offered to a school for a reason.
Yeah.
And, they're all super athletic, super strong. And, when you're playing that young too, I was 18 years old, 19 years old going against 22, 23-year-old men.
Big difference between.
Yeah, 100%. So, I would just say the speed of the game, the strength of your opponents. And then once you get to the NFL, it's just
Speed of the game is at a different.
so it's everybody's in
Crazy.
the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
It's no more mental mistakes that you'll get in college against some of those guys or anything like that. Like everybody knows. They're getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
So obviously they are in college now.
Yeah, they are.
NIL.
That's changed.
It's-
Man,
it's
just
a
think if
different
it would
world
have been
now.
like that when you were in school. You could have been making bank then.
I know. Yeah,
Probably
it's a
in
few
high
years too
school.
late.
This would have been the Doug Nestor podcast suite.
Yeah.
Could have been. It's what
This,
it could
we could have
been,
sponsored this. Yeah, AMS certified.
AMS.
Doug Nestor podcast suite. So you excuse me, I've never actually done that on television because I have a way to prevent sneezing. Did I ever tell you about that, Chelsea? To prevent sneezing, when I'm actually like this, I guess since we're like podcasty, this doesn't really count. But I've got a secret to prevent myself from sneezing, and the secret is if I'm off camera, if there's like video up, put my hand under my nose and I can keep talking like this, and apparently this holds something back. I don't know. It's not a wives' tale. It's true. So I'm going like this. It prevents myself from. But if I'm on camera, and I'm like, well, I can't go like this on camera. People think. So on the desk, on the end of the desk, I grab onto the end of the desk and squeeze really hard and like direct pain to my hand, and
And it helps.
It helps. It helps me like get through the sound bite, and then I'll sneeze. So, but I've never.
Can we get a certificate, like a first game type thing? It was
Yeah.
like Tim's first sneeze. Can we get one of those on the way out?
I think because that's the first time you've experienced. But this isn't really on the air, since we're on the web.
So I can say keister.
Right.
You can do that. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you checked.
Fall on my key. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I just wanna check it.
You can say that word, and you guys could even mention going to a bar if you want. So, that's
I call that Bible study, but
totally it's a totally inside joke for those of us, unless you're a frequent viewer of WSAZ Plus or WSAZ or WSAZ. What do we call the weather thing?
Weather Plus.
Weather Plus. Okay, everything's plus.
Just
you
add
throw a
to
plus
it.
behind it, it's an extra $10. That's how you make your money.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
mean,
is.
this is what we've done, and so we charge the advertisers. So the speed of the game, I noticed it when I first went. Keith and I were covering I think it was a Steelers Jets playoff game when Pennington was playing for the Jets, and Ben was the Steeler quarterback. So we're there, and Keith said, "Man," he goes, "the difference between being on the sidelines of a college game and being on the sidelines." First of all, Jonathan Vilma walked out onto the field, and we were like, "Look at that! He's just this beast." And he looks, he carried himself the way like DK Metcalf does.
Yeah.
Just like that. He just has a walk
Right.
and a presence, and then everybody else followed. We're like, there's Jonathan. Oh, there's another, and everybody. They're beasts.
So it's different breeds of human beings. It really is. Like
Yeah.
the size and speed and strength of all those guys is so impressive to be around. It really is. Like it's just otherworldly.
Yeah. So what's the dream then? What's the NFL dream at this point?
Oh man, just NFL they say stands for not for long. So as long as I can
heard
make
that.
it in there, just keep it a job is really my goal.
It's probably a good one to have. And how about you? You're going to be staying on because how long have you been with the Steelers now?
So I'm going on my 6th full season. So
And-
COVID, I stayed up. I had all my classes online back here at Marshall, and I kind of stayed up there.
Yeah.
Worked remotely, and that was my first year traveling. So 2020 is the first year going on my 6th season.
Yeah.
But I
All
would
under
do-
the same coach.
Yeah.
All under
Yeah.
Coach T.
Yeah, so even go back like 2018 is my first training camp. So
Yeah.
I'd go up, it was a freshman going to my sophomore year here, went to training camp that summer, and man, from the start, Coach T he was the guy. And he's the reason why I got hired full time, one of the ones that kind of helped transitioned that on over from an internship to a
How did
full-time
you
role.
get your foot in the door? Explain that process.
Yeah, so I mean, like, a
fascinated.
little bit like, obviously, you know my father, right? So working in news, I always had a camera in my
Mike
hand.
Power, shout out in the studio.
He'll pay me later for that. He can buy my lunch. But no, like growing up with like a camera in my hand, I still wanted to do broadcast stuff at Marshall. So I did Olympic sports here, and then would work the football games on Saturdays. So I just did, I knew I wanted to continue the football thing. Playing since I was 6 years old at Wayne all the way through. I knew I wanted to keep on the field at some capacity, and just reach out to the head equipment guy at the time.
What year did you graduate high school?
2017.
What year did you graduate high school?
2019.
Did you ever see him on the sidelines? Do you remember seeing him in uniform?
No,
Because Spring Valley wouldn't have played.
we wanted to
No.
play.
You wouldn't have
We
played.
didn't
play
play him
double
until
A.
my senior year.
Yeah, and so until your senior year. But in your senior year, do you remember having to face him on the football field?
Mm-mm.
Oh, because your senior year would have been after. Yeah.
So we're AMS certified. So there's a couple years. We do a lot of the math behind this.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So,
But yeah, but I
so
mean,
you got your foot in the door.
Yeah, and that's what it was. The first camp, and then it was kind of funny. So I come back in August, and the head equipment guy at the time had called me. I'm in the middle of class.
Was there an opening, or did you like?
It wasn't. So we're always looking for what we call it, camp interns, like guys that can help us out during training camp, because it's a lot. We have a full 90-man roster. We're at another facility. We're at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. It's about 45 minutes from the city. So we basically have to pick up our operation, move it there, for the 3.5 weeks, and then move everything back. So there's a lot of moving parts with just that role, with just training camp in itself.
understandable.
It's
Yeah.
really for extra help, and that's what it was a camp intern when I first started out. But the head equipment guy at the time had called me. I was in math class. I'll never forget this. And I obviously had to go to voicemail. I called him back after class.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, what do you usually do on Sundays? I'm like, well, honestly, I do my homework and I'll watch you guys on TV. He goes, well, how would you feel about coming up here and working the home games? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I got just off the cut. I knew I wanted to do it. And he goes, go talk to your parents, see if you can work it out.
Oh.
I went back and I walked downstairs in Smith Hall. I'll never forget that. I walked into my dad's office, and without even missing a beat, he goes, we'll make it work. So every home game for 2018, 2019, my dad and I would drive up, 4.5 hours up, 4.5 hours back.
Yeah.
And would work with the visiting clubhouse. So it was kind of different. So they're also help on game day. So we provide help to any visiting team that comes into Pittsburgh.
Right.
Giving them extra hands in the locker room, packing up bags,
Yeah.
moving stuff around for them. Because you think the full staff on a home game. Well, when you go on visiting, you're going to cut, or when you're visiting a city, you're cutting that staff even more down. So we provide that extra help, and that's what I did for 2 years. So that was, I think, cool.
There's so much stuff that goes on in the bowels of a football stadium.
And I think that
of
helped
an
me
NFL
too,
stadium.
because I got to see the other side of the job, right? So you see
Yeah.
the one singular team equipment guy, but then I got to work with all these other guys that would come in. It was cool to see different styles of how things are run.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. So 2018 was my first camp. 2020 was my first full season. So.
And what was that like then? Now that you're kind of obviously you have an established job, you feel comfortable in it and doing it. When you describe your job to friends back home and family members, maybe you haven't spoken to about it, what do you say? Because I'm sure they have a million questions.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do, Kyle?
I always start with saying it's a hobby, not a job. So I go into work every single day loving what I do. I love the
That's
guys
awesome.
that I work with. I love the
great.
players. I mean, I'm serious. Like when Doug came up, it was like I gained a brother, right? We knew of each other, but when we connected,
Right.
it was like I gained a brother on that team. And I think that helps. But I tell people it's a hobby. When it becomes an actual job, I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna reevaluate what I'm doing. I'm gonna figure my life out. Right now, it's a hobby. I have to wear gym clothes every day. I have to wear shorts year round. I mean, it's the perfect job. But no, it's I always, like I said in the introduction, I think of a player, helmet, shoulder pads. Without that, we gotta make sure that they're dressed for what they need, health and safety wise, to go out and play a game.
Yeah.
Because they're putting their life on the line for 4 quarters. I'm out there making sure they can continue to keep going, keep the wheels rolling. I don't want one to fall off. So.
Not to bring the subject down a little bit, a bit of a downer, but one of the things that we're looking at. There's been actual talk about legislation in West Virginia to make safety helmets.
Yeah.
What are they called? The
Guardian caps.
The Guardian caps, to make the Guardian caps much more accessible for especially high school players.
Yeah.
And even middle school, there's been talk about doing that. So lawmakers are actually looking at making changes with the West Virginia SSAC. How do you feel? Especially you, Doug, as a player, how do you feel about trying to do a better job of protecting kids at that age from suffering, the concussions and other head injuries they might have?
I've had my fair share of them. So
Have you?
Yeah.
You remember all of them?
Not all of them.
Probably not.
No,
Especially if you really got run.
We were playing Baylor when I was at WVU, and we had called a trap play, where I pull and hit the defensive end.
Yeah.
I mean, we called it, no joke, probably 8 times in a row. And I remember coming off the sideline, and my face mask was bent down. And I could see it, like, in my vision. And, I just, after that, just running that 8 plays in a row, just connecting heads with somebody, running full speed. I mean, it's not an injury that I would want, kids at a middle school age or a high school age even to have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
I had to work through a lot of vision stuff after that.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, got a little stigmatism from it and everything. Yeah, so, the more we can do for the safety of, kids that are growing up, especially in our state, it would be awesome. But, I think it's just it's a different world we live in now, and that we have all this science and technology to study it. And, I mean, these helmets are getting better and better. Kyle can tell you better with
Even
that
without
stuff.
the Guardian caps, they're getting better.
Unreal.
Do you
Like,
think that
the
more?
news, sorry,
No,
to cut you off. The Rydell
Yeah.
Speedflex Axioms.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's scanned to your head, fits perfectly. I mean, I've never felt a better helmet, truly.
Yeah, I never even made it to the high school level because I was like way too skinny. I would have been murdered on the football field. But at the grade school level, I played for 4 years from 5th grade to 8th grade, and we had those old Rydell helmets.
Oh,
that was in the right. That's there was just inside there was just and even as a kid there were times where I got knocked out. Do you think more NFL players are going to be wearing Guardian caps during games, and do you think that maybe the design? I'll talk with Kyle about that. Do you see more NFL players in the future wearing? Because you see more of them now. Like it used to only be a preseason, and now even in the regular season, I think there are 2 or 3 players on the Patriots who are wearing them now.
Yeah. I truly don't think more people will start wearing them in game. But, we were required to wear them, 2 years ago, last year?
So it's a new thing. It's required for position. Now it's position specific.
Yeah.
They're required. Quarterbacks, kickers aren't really required to wear them in practice, but everybody else kind of has to follow
In practice.
In practice, yeah.
Okay.
For a padded practice, let me go back. Because you think about the NFL thing, too. 14 padded practices a year.
Yeah.
Hold me to that. I think it's 14 is what the CBA says.
Yeah.
14 padded practices a year. So you think about 1 a week. You kind of so it's every time you have to wear the extra pads, shoulder pads, all that. You want that extra Guardian cap on just in case. And I think, the change in the helmet is a big thing too. It's becoming more custom, right? Mm-hmm. So when I played, even Doug and I were in high school, you got a helmet off the shelf, obviously fitted to what we needed, right? And you just went out there and played. I think now it's become the personalization, just the turning of the wave for helmet technology.
Yeah.
And I mean, these companies, Schutt, Rydell, Vices, they're making headway with they're obviously using the data that we collect on a game.
Yeah.
And they can change that and make sure it's whatever. Player health and safety might be the number one top priority for me, and then my profession and the league.
I would
making
think
sure
so.
That Doug stays safe on the field.
That probably makes you players, feel good to know that you have people like Kyle who have your back, who are actually thinking about, not just like, hey, how do how's that uniform look on you? It's what does it do for your safety?
Oh, 100%. And rarely is it ever especially with equipment and Kyle and everybody that works up there, is it ever a question of, man, that looks good. How's that feel?
Okay, so that's good. That's good that you don't hear that
and everything. Like, it's never a conversation of, well, do you like how that looks?
Yeah.
So it's just they truly do. They want to keep us protected and keep us in our job as long as possible.
Why don't you think? Because you mentioned it. Why don't you think more players will wear the current version of the Guardian cap?
I just think the helmet technology, like I said, is
getting better.
Is getting so much better. And I didn't think I had a Guardian cap on during camp this year with the helmet.
Does it feel uncomfortable? Is it weight?
It's very uncomfortable. It moves a lot, but you can feel that added protection a little bit. But like I said, with that new Axiom that I got this year, it's unreal.
You notice it. You actually notice a difference.
Oh, yeah. Usually you can feel every hit, every play, but with the new helmets they have now, like it doesn't feel like contact every play now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that can really save your noggin.
Oh, 100%.
Going forward in the future. I hate to say this, you guys lost your AMS certification. Look.
Oh.
Yeah,
Can we still keep
you're
this-
not
can we still
AMS
keep
certified
the,
anymore.
Can I keep the email signature? Can I still put that at the bottom?
You can.
You
I
can,
mean,
go, you can
and
go,
there's
you can go in and screenshot it.
Like a 5-day
There's
trial,
always-
like do I have to pay maybe an extended trial period, like a 30-day thing?
and don't forget, since this will be posted online, you can screenshot that AMS certification.
We
And
have
for
a
the
new
rest of
Facebook
your lives, you'll be AMS certified.
If you
Yeah.
have any weather questions, please find Doug and I at the local Kroger.
Let me ask both of you guys about the changes this year. Obviously, the Steelers have a new head coach, Mike McCarthy, who's well known. He's from the Greenfield area of Pittsburgh, and that's why we were pretty fired up to see somebody who is a Yinzer come there and actually kind of talk like the same way Carr did.
That's right.
And so do you think? And by the way, where is that? I gotta find it. Where's my? Oh, here it is. Speaking of Coach T, before we move on from Coach T,
Yeah.
this is his signature right there. I don't know when people can see that, but that says Mike Tomlin. He signed this, and it's to me, actually. And this is courtesy of you, Kyle. So you made this happen.
Oh, it was all him.
Martina made this happen.
Yeah.
And it was for it's that. Just real quickly, it says, "Dear Tim, I'd like to congratulate you on West Virginia Lifetime Achievement Award for Broadcast Excellence, blah, blah, blah." And it goes on. But I was stunned, absolutely stunned. The inside story on that I never really got from you. I just was like, hey, thanks for making that happen. How did that happen?
So Martina, and obviously I've known Martina since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right? My dad working in this business. I
Yeah.
have a lot of.
Yeah, they worked together at 13. Yeah.
So she hit me up, and like out of the blue, I'm like, whatever. Once she said your name, I'm like, I'm gonna have to
You were like, that
I'm
guy.
gonna have to do it. No, and I think what it was, and so it was around the time. Correct me on the date. Right, it was around April. Give me the month.
April Fool's Day. Hey,
That's right,
perfect
April
for
1.
me. Yeah.
So around that time, that's kind of like a weird time in the NFL,
Feast
right?
day.
So you go all the way through January, February is when the Super Bowl kind of ends. Your next big event's gonna be the draft, combine.
Yeah.
End of, So this is like a weird time when I went to ask him about this. I walk upstairs, he was in his office, and I give him a quick knock.
He's
on
an
the door.
approachable kind of guy?
Oh my gosh,
Coach T was?
one of a kind.
Okay.
One of a kind. And people say he's a player's coach, man. He was a staff coach too, man.
Oh,
Like,
good. That's good to hear.
And quick before we go in the story.
Yeah.
When I first started in 2020 for the full season,
Yeah.
I'm walking the hallway, and one of Coach T's things he wanted to do, he wanted all the interns, and the younger guys around the team.
Yeah.
He wanted someone to type up a quick bio, so every department head would type up like a quick bio with our picture in the hallway. Like, morning, Coach T. He goes, "What's up?" He stops. He goes, "How's the herd going to look this year?" Because he read that I was from Huntington. He took the time out of his day, being the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Yeah.
to want to know about an intern from Huntington, West Virginia. It's cool things like that people just don't know because
Yeah.
it's not out in the public.
Yeah.
So back to the story. Go up there, knock on the door.
Yeah.
"Hey, Coach, you got a quick second?" He goes, "Yeah, come on in." And I said, the guy back home, really close family friend of mine. I want to make sure. And I gave the entire history about what the award was that you got, which is very impressive, by the way. So that's
It just means you're old enough. That you stick around long enough, and they're like, all right, give it to him.
But no, so I said, is there any way, huge Steelers fan, can we get like a quick letter? He goes, absolutely, without hesitation. Not like, well, talk to my secretary. It was, give me I'd write up like a quick one-pager about you.
Yeah.
He wanted to know a little bit about what the award was. He goes, I'll get it done. And I kid you not, it was the next morning around 9:30. He goes, check your email, read over the draft, let me know how it is, and send it back. And that's what it was. So I was like, that he took the time. And
That's
anybody like me, it was just, that's Coach T.
Yeah.
But anybody outside, they're like, he took absolutely did.
That's kind of a man. Like, don't
Yeah.
you think? Like, you guys have been in football your whole lives, and knowing how coaches and how busy they are, especially at that level, that's kind of unbelievable that a coach would do that. Like,
Unreal. Just a unreal man he is.
yeah. So you guys obviously got to know him. Is it hard to say goodbye to somebody? I mean, life changes, football changes. He was obviously around for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
As coach. Noel was 23 years. Cowher was, 13, 14?
And that's a crazy set. You think about taking a step back, like you think about
Yeah.
the other teams, and it's not bashing, but like the other teams, like the Browns, other franchises.
Just go through coaches like this.
It's more of a turnover than most.
Right.
We had 3 head coaches in the past 60 years. Like that's a crazy set. I mean, Coach T was there for 19 seasons. That was
Yeah.
almost my entire childhood growing up.
Yeah.
Ben, Coach Tomlin, Troy Polamalu, these
Yeah.
guys I watched growing up.
I'm old. I've had 3 coaches of my favorite football team
Yeah.
in my entire life.
And that's insane. But
Isn't
like
that
you say that out
crazy?
loud, you get to take back. Like, that's an insane stat that our franchise has been able to do. And I think that
Yeah.
also goes back to the ownership, right? The Rooney family, top notch. And I think
Yeah.
the philosophy they have with running this team, that's how we run. I think going back to what Coach McCarthy, the introduction, I think that's a great call. I think he's going. I'm excited. I think Doug can speak too. And,
right.
But going back to like the whole entire saying goodbye, it's like Doug was in the meeting. I mean, it's like you lost an uncle. I told Dad that too. It's like I lost a family member.
Yeah.
Because you're around that guy constantly, and for him to obviously in his own way step away from the game. It's sad, but man, I'm excited for him. What he's going to do.
Well, sure, yeah.
In the next,
he's put his time in.
Yeah,
he deserves to spend time, hanging out, watching his daughter, down in Georgia compete. She's what sport does she do? I know
gymnastics.
She did okay. She does gymnastics.
She's incredible at it too.
That's what I've heard.
He said it before, and it's been out there in public.
Now he can
the best
see her.
athlete of the family. He has 2 other sons, both played football.
Yeah.
And then obviously Harley is a gymnast. So she's the
I
most athletic one out of the bunch.
I heard something about him, and it made me I was like, yeah, I get it because I'm a dad of daughters. Somebody said that he, he didn't go on every recruiting trip, on every college visit. He can't, but he always made sure to make the trip to Georgia. Like he didn't miss the recruiting trips to Georgia because that way he could see his daughter when he was down there.
But no, I mean I think Doug Doug saw the rawness.
Yeah.
The departure, and obviously. In the building when they're upstairs in the team meeting, we're all kind of downstairs.
Had you guys already heard downstairs before the players?
So
okay,
so I actually stepped out of the building for a few minutes to go sign for a package in my apartment. I come back 2 minutes after the team meeting started at 2:00, and I think that's when it started trickling down because he walks in. Doug can speak on that when I was in the meeting, but
because I obviously there are details that not only you do not want to talk about, but can't talk about. But what was was it general like what were players kind of caught off guard by it, or did they think maybe it might happen but not right away, like he'd get through this meeting and then make a decision down the road, or what was the general feeling from was it shock more than surprise?
I mean, I've never seen so many grown men just really in shock and just sad at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a mix of emotions in there. But, just for him to say he was stepping down was the air left the room. You could hear a pin drop, within a meeting. Yeah. And usually he has that effect anyway. He comes into a room, he takes it over. Anyway.
Must have been hard for him.
I mean,
to do that. To sit down with all these, these men that he's gotten to know so well.
And that's usually our last exit meeting anyway. So we, everybody was kind of coming in like, all right, we got this exit meeting, and then we'll talk about what happened at the game, and then, we'll go sign up for our exit meetings with Coach T, and then we'll go meet with our position coaches. It was kind of just like another season had ended.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like I said, that air just left the room.
I would think. Yeah, that had to be shocking. Okay, so you turn the page now, and Steelers several days later, it didn't take very long, they hire a new head coach. Mike McCarthy, obviously, the first thing that people said, every critic was like, well, he's too old. Like, why are they hiring it? Like, they should have hired a young offensive-minded or even defensive-minded coordinator who was in his 30s, like the Steelers have always done. So they broke away from the mold that they've done in the past. Obviously, they must feel strongly about McCarthy. Who am I? I'm just some guy who lives in Huntington, West Virginia. I don't know anything. I'm a fan.
Well, just look at his resume, too. I think that's the thing. You look at the resume, right? You always want to get a coordinator.
Right.
Everybody does.
Right.
But with this kind of
resume's kind of strong.
This is, once again, current status of the team. Doug can speak on that from a player aspect.
Yeah.
But, right now what we need is a good transition period over. And I think, and that's not even calling Coach McCarthy's next couple of years, however long he's here, as a transition period. It's not. That's the McCarthy era. We're moving into a new era.
Yeah. He wants to win a Super Bowl.
He does. And I think, but he goes back to what you said earlier. He's a Greenfield guy. So a little bit about the geography of
he
Pittsburgh.
understands.
Greenfield is across the water from our practice. Like I live in Greenfield my first 4 years in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Great community. But where our facility is, you look right across the water, and that hillside is Greenfield. So for him, sitting in his office, turns to the right, looks out the window.
There's home.
That's home.
Yeah.
That's where he grew up, right across the water.
That's got to feel good.
It's almost like a full circle moment for him.
Yeah.
But you also go back, I said, the resume. He has extensive stats. Great stats when it comes to head coaching potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Did you Doug, you're in a different position, but Kyle, did you, when Coach T left, because I wondered it, and I thought, well, I'm not going to ask your dad yet, but I was like, were you and the rest of the people who were staff members thinking like, this could be, I don't know what my future holds, or is that different at your level?
So it's different. So like, and it's hard because like, you know, and that the outpour of guys just asking about how it was, you know, that meant the work. Because it's like back home, it's people are worried, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think, but it's different for each team. This goes back to what I said about the Rooney family. The Rooney family runs things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm biased when I say this.
Right.
I'm not even paid.
Do you hear that from when you talk to other people who are in your position with other teams? Not to give away any names or teams or anything. Do you guys hear that? Like, well, it's different there in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, but like I said, the way the Rooney family runs things is so unique. I think it's the family mindset. But with them, we work for the club and not the coach. So the support staff, we're kind of not safe. I'm not saying safe is the wrong word there, but I think we're working for Mr. Rooney. We're not working for the coach at the time.
Okay.
So in the transition, we're still here, right?
Okay.
There could be some changes with the strength staff. They fall under the coaching umbrella.
I see.
Other support staff can fall into that kind of like, ooh, I'm worried now, like what's going to happen. But with us, I was somewhat fine. But I think in that entire day, you know, nothing was certain. Like our world has been turned upside down.
Yeah.
If you work in that building, and you know your head coach leaves, your world's flipped upside down. And it's like, you know, obviously there's a sense of uncertainty, right? But then you think back like, okay, I work for Mr. Rooney, I don't work for him. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a little bit of I can now breathe. Air was taken away from my lungs.
Yeah.
I can now take a little deep breath and like, you know what, I work for the Rooney family and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And they're retaining me in my job. Okay, that's good to know. Well, we're happy to know that, and anybody who knows you would know that. And man, best of luck to you this coming year. This is going to be a big year for you, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's going to be a huge year for me to see what I can put out there, my film wise, and not only for the Steelers but for the whole NFL. So to try to, like I said, stay in as long as possible. Yeah.
It's the kind of the dream come true in a way.
Oh,
when you were in high school, did you think that? I mean, I know you wanted to play at the highest level possible. Did you? You know, you've got it. You know, you were of 17, 18 years old. Did you think it's a dream? Or are you that kind of mindset's like, no, I'm going to make this happen? Like, what was your mindset then?
So
really curious.
In high school, my mindset was, you know, just to go get my college paid for, really. And, you know, to make it to Division I, play at the highest level. And, you know, not many people from our area have made it out to play either college sports or go pro. Yeah. And so, you know, that was never on my mind was to go professional. It was once I got to college, because I'm more of a just one step at a time type of person. So once I got to college, you know, that was the ultimate goal. But in high school, mine was just to get to the next level. And, you know, like seeing all the people, you know, around our area or even our state that have, you know, made it that far now is awesome. And I think it helps out, like, recruiting wise around here. You see kids get recruited within the state a lot more now, and just in our area as well. I mean, you have Darnell, Tyson Bagent, Brenton Strange, Wyatt Milam. I mean, you got tons of, you know, just West Virginia kids in the NFL that we didn't have before. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see what's happening in our state. And people are starting to
sense of pride for you, especially for you players, and your families. Families must be your family must be beyond crazy that you're actually playing and somewhat close to home.
Oh yeah, no, it's a huge blessing. So when I first got signed, I was in Minnesota. Yeah. So me and my dad took a drive up there whenever we were getting ready to start camp, and you know, taking that, gosh, I think it was 15 hours maybe.
Yeah, it's a long trip from West Virginia.
15-hour drive. You know, it really just kind of set in like I'm really on my own, you know, now. Yeah. When I was driving up there. But then, you know, luckily, you know, the Steelers signed me right after camp, and coming back there, I was like, you know, my dad and mom came up the next day, and, you know, my wife came up the next day. Yeah. And I mean, it was just like, we can do this. Yeah. I mean, plus only an hour and a half from Morgantown, where I was just playing college football, so I had all of my friends back there as well. Yeah. So it was awesome. Yeah,
that's so true, I would imagine. 6'6", I'd say you're. I'm 6. Because looking at you when you came in, I'm like, you're about 6'6". Yeah. And what's your weight?
About 315.
Okay, 6'6", 315. Would you describe yourself as an average-sized offensive lineman, or when you look around the room, do you think, no, I've got a little bit of an edge because of my size?
No, I'm pretty on average. There's some.
Isn't that amazing to think
It
the
is.
size you are, and you're like, I'm just average. I'm just what these guys are.
Yeah. No, I mean, it honestly feels awesome whenever you get in those rooms and you feel like almost like a normal person. Like you're.
Because you were talking about going to Lowe's, and like people look, people who maybe not even recognize you might be like, well, that guy, look at how big, So you get a lot of like, hey, big guy comments.
Oh, 100%. Especially being back home all the time. If people, I mean, I don't feel like I'm recognizable or anything, but like whenever I go out or go out to eat or anything, people are like, man, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like,
you hear someone, that's Doug Nestor.
No, not really.
It's usually me in the back.
Yeah, he's got his wing there.
But going out to eat and everything, they're just like, man, you must have played somewhere. And I'm always the type of guy. I'm like, yeah, I used to play at WVU.
Yeah, because you don't want to get into the whole like,
no.
Yeah, I'm doing it, because then you have to start telling your story.
Yeah, I'm not a big talker anyway, so being on here anyway is kind of a step up for me.
We trapped.
Yeah, I'm also his wingman. I'm like, he was a power forward.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
he's a beast on the court.
He had no idea what was coming, and then when he got in here, he goes, "Oh, you guys so we'll record this." And I'm like, "Oh no, we're going live." He said, "What?" So thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was great. Thanks for coming in, both of you.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Any parting words for Steeler fans for the upcoming season? Super Bowls, I was sad because, and so were you, obviously, that our favorite team didn't get in. But how are things? What should we feel about next year? We still don't know about quarterback situation. We don't know about a lot of stuff.
I think from a staff aspect, I'm excited. There's an excitement factor. It's a turning of the page. The Tomlin era. Now we're going to the McCarthy era. So it's whatever comes from this season is going to really determine what the rest of the era falls on. I think it's going to be a good starting point. But no, and Doug made a good point about the NFL being not for long. There's a quote that always sticks with me: "The line to get in is a lot longer than the line to get out." I think that's what it is. When you're in the building, it's a different world. I think that's I take that for granted most times. It has never really set in. It'll set in when I'm a little bit older. But like, what I'm doing right now, it's fun because I'm around guys like a brother Doug here. Like it's the guy from back home. Like that's we're in this thing together. And I think now it's it's the turning of the page. Man, I'm excited.
Appreciate you guys being on here again. Thank you so much. Next time you're in town again at some break, we'll have to do it again. Yeah.
Bring some icy lights for the studio.
There you go, Mango.
That's not a plug. I would love an Iron City hat, but
if somebody at Pittsburgh Brewing would happen to see this,
might make it the way to the email. Maybe a
link. We could send the link, and you might even get a lifetime supply of icy light. Yeah, that's great, guys. Thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Yeah, thanks. And hey, thanks for watching. This is the longest one I've done, Chelsea.
You're doing really well.
I think
we get 3 certificates now, right? The AMS.
Shannon came in here to do actual news. Like he came in here.
We'll keep them on to do the weather after this.
Okay.
Yeah, stick around. We got a squall coming in around 11:30 and 12. Beat slick roads.
He is AMS certified after all, or at least he was. Both of you were. So
Pull up the web.
yeah, we can pull up the weather after.
congratulations. That's great. We're so happy that we have new meteorologists on staff. So
Watch out, Tony.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tony. Hey, thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.